All right. Well, good morning, everybody. I trying to think of something to say as a welcome, and I would say that I'm learning to respect the fact that I am no longer a young man. As I wake up this morning with all sorts of aches and pains, but the turkey for next week will be sufficient. It took a lot out of my shoulders and arms yesterday. Many of the things I used to be able to do and not think too much about are not so easy anymore. Such is life, such as time marches on, regardless of how much I want to not let it cause me to age. And we find ourselves here this morning in a little bit more of an adaptive environment as we're preparing for a clothing drive and blanket drive. And so, things change and we adapt. But God is always present in the midst of all of our circumstances. So I welcome you into this space today, that you will feel God's presence, regardless of what maybe is happening around you, that God may touch you and speak to you in a special way this day. So let's start with a few announcements for the day. As I already mentioned, after church today, there is the clothing drive and the blanket giveaway, and also a ministry team meeting. I think the plan is for the ministry team to meet up here.
Somewhere close to an outlet.
We'll just gather up here while that clothing drive and blanket giveaway is going on. Quite a few things there to keep in mind. Part of it, we'll have to spend some time talking about the parsonage and next steps there. The next weekend, as I already mentioned that kind of too, next weekend is our holiday meal. There will be a turkey, I can promise you that. And it's fresh and delicious and all that great stuff. But 6 o'clock, come and join us for that. Bring a friend. It's a great place for us to have a low barrier fellowship, meet, and just be community together. And I think that's a very important aspect of being a church. Recently, I've kind of been referring back to things we worked on way back, years ago. But if we love God with all of our heart and our mind and our soul, and we love others as ourselves, even our enemies as ourselves, isn't that how we practice care for others? By just be willing to sit down and have a meal with them, to have a time of gathering where it's not believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and be saved kind of, proselytizing, come to Jesus, altar call kind of moment. It is a time just to gather and to love and to care. And so I think that embodies much of who we are as a church. Thanksgiving's obviously coming up shortly thereafter. The Sunday after Thanksgiving is our traditional hanging of the greens. And so I imagine that'll go on with us still in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And you can have fun decorating the church. One of the other things that we're going to have to discuss, I think, is the giving tree that we usually do and family for that. And so I know I've heard a couple of different inputs on that. Please remind us. That would help us in that discussion process. Sundays. I think with the kids, we have completed our Call to Conscious curriculum. And much of the work now is kind of on them to kind of complete and to write on their own. So starting next Sunday, I will be having baptism classes during that time frame. That'll take us 3 or 4 Sundays for the baptism classes. And then the adults having a book discussion on the Holy Runaways. And 4 o'clock in the evenings, I still call it English classes. It's more really community gathering and support that I'm working on. So please, if anybody's interested in being part of that, let me know. Wednesdays at having a Bible study here at the church at 7 p.m. It helps if we kind of know you're coming in case things change and we know who to contact and tell. But we're trying to have a Bible study on Philippians here at the church, 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. Kids Club happening on the first Friday of the month, and the book swap happening on the first Saturday of the month. Are there any other announcements that need to be made for this coming week?
Do we have an ish count on just when we're cooking things, how many people might be coming? Like are Claire and
For the Thanksgiving
Eli
meal.
and David coming or
David will be in town. He has to be, he's going to go see one of his classmates from Alma in a production up in Sturgis. So I promised him I would save him a plate. So, so we can count him in the head count that he won't physically be here, but,
Claire,
are Josh and Tony and Caitlin and Lydia, are they coming?
so what do we say, maybe 30 people roughly?
Yeah.
That would be just,
30 people, then, worst case scenario, have leftovers. So probably better to have a little extra and you can take some home. Sound good? Good question. All right. Anything else for this coming week? Okay. If not, do we birthdays or anniversaries? None right away here that I can see. Wait. Trying to think dates. Not quite. This coming week would be my sister's, actually. Amazing that I remembered that. So it's on record now that I remembered. All right. Well, let's have our children come forward then for a children's story. And Laura has that for us. Afterwards, Joshua will light our candles to start our service.
Hey guys, how you doing? Got a little bit of a challenge for you today. I'm gonna be like Rosemary and have a seat. I'm gonna be reading you a little bit of a sermon. It's about Jesus healing on the Sabbath, and that was in Luke 13:10-17. So I have a challenge for you. First of all, this morning, okay? And you can either stand on the steps or get up there, up on the platform up there, okay? So I need you guys to stand up nice and straight, okay? And then I want you to bend at your waist. All the way down, Lucas. There you go. All right. Now, if you'll please stay like that till I get done with the children's sermon, okay? All right. So you guys will remain like that until I tell you to stand up straight, okay? The woman in our Bible passage for today has had a disability that caused her to have to stand like this all the time. She couldn't stand up straight like you were before. She was bent over like that for 18 years. Let that sink in a little bit, guys. So, Lucas, how old are you? Josh, how old are you? Rosie? So I don't know if you guys could handle it for 18 years. I don't know if you could handle it for as long as you are old now, but just consider that and let that sink in. What other difficulties? Okay, so it wasn't easy for her. And think about this. What if you went to the store and you needed something from the top shelf? That'd be a little difficult, wouldn't it? Like me with my short disability, I have to wait for a tall person to come down the aisle and I'll say, "Excuse me, tall man, could you help me with this item at the top shelf?" Or I'll play spider monkey and try to climb up the shelves, which isn't really smart at my age. Also, would you have to depend on someone to find and get the items you needed, you guys, to get off the top shelf? I don't know how you would get up there otherwise, right? Okay. So, what other difficulties might you face if you had this disability? Rosie?
Sitting down.
Sitting down. Lucas?
Driving.
Driving.
My legs are going numb.
And I can imagine how she must feel, huh? Okay. In today's Bible passage, Jesus was teaching in a place like a church called a synagogue. It was the Sabbath, the day when everyone was supposed to rest. Jesus saw the woman with the disability. He knew she'd been like that